Need cheap coins right now? Check out redzonecoins.com. For the very best discount available, use code DIRECTOR for 20% off. Hold up. 20% off? That's cheaper than any other YouTuber. Big ups to redzonecoins.com. Use code DIRECTOR. Yoda brothers, what's up? It's the Director. Madden Ultimate Team fans, we are ranking all of the theme teams in Madden 21 today in this video, Game of Thrones style. Who are we going to crown the best theme team, Madden Ultimate Team, at least for right now? Things are going to change in a couple of weeks. Now, some of you guys may say, well, Director, why run a theme team at all? This is Madden Ultimate Team. Shouldn't we be putting the best teams, the best players on the one squad? Technically, yes. A lot of people chase that theme team one, well, just because we're fans of our teams, okay? I want all the Chargers. Give me all the Chargers. But at the same time, you're going to get huge benefits from running players from the same team. For instance, this Niners team, 50-50 Niners is going to get you +2 speed. That's hugely valuable in Madden Ultimate Team. +2 speed is a game changer. If you can add it to guys like Tyreek Hill, Lamar Jackson, these are the type of players that are going to win you games. And if not, dudes, just do it because you love your team. Before we get started, guys, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into this video. Lights, camera, action. The theme team. Who are we going to crown as the best theme team? Which theme teams should you be targeting as far as, creating a theme team if you just want to win games? Or how does your theme team look in my rankings? Don't get mad. There's 32 teams, which means there's going to be a lot of teams that aren't number one. All right, before we do get started though, guys, I did want to give a shout out to my sponsor, redzonecoins.com. One of you lucky guys in the comments section are going to be able to pick up a code for a free 100,000 coins. Take that code, put it into their website. You'll be able to claim that absolutely for free. Now, this code you're seeing right here, that's not the code. This here is an ad, so don't try and put that code in there. It's not going to work. Just make sure to hit that like, bell, and sub notification to make sure you're updated and when my videos drop, because it's going to be random, dudes. It's just at some point it's going to be like, the code! You have to make sure to grab that, put it in before anybody else. All right, guys, we got 32 teams to go over, 32 teams to rank. Who's going to be number one? We got to start all the way at the bottom at number 32. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the worst theme team in Madden Ultimate Team. I shouldn't say it that way. You're not the worst, guys. Don't freak out. But as far as theme teams go, the Giants have a ways to build so far. I mean, guys, you're going to get upgrades anyway. All your teams at the bottom here, don't be too offended. You're going to get more teams or more items along the way. The Giants theme team looks okay. I like Evan Ingram. I like Daniel Jones. Everybody, you're going to see Barry Sanders in every team. That's just how it works. And a team captain. What's nice is the guy who put this together, huge shout out to him. He put the best team captain he thought fit on your team. So keep that in mind if you're wondering who to run for your squad. Defensively, though, the Giants are a mess, man. There's really nobody here other than Linval Joseph. Nobody in the secondary, really no safeties, one linebacker who's the master. That's why they're going to be ranked. They don't have the best offense, and obviously their defense is pretty tragic. At 31, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now again, pieces that I like. You guys have an okay quarterback. Keenan McCardell looks awesome paired up with Andre Johnson. You got Tyler Eifert, decent offensive line. Defense, however, Ronnie Harrison over here, he's okay. Sam Mills, he comes with everybody. This defensive line looks pretty good. Everything else is solid. So I would say this is a nice little balanced out team, but at the same time, quarterback situation hurts you. There's a bunch of different positions, linebacker, free safety that are going to hurt you in the long run. But so far, man, out of the bottom 32 or whatever, this isn't too terrible. At number 30 is the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Titans have some nice pieces, man. Obviously, if you can't afford Barry Sanders, you got Eddie George out there, Drew Bennett, nice wide receivers. No quarterback, though, which is a huge hit. I do love Jonnu Smith, though. I play with him even on my, God squad right now. Defense, though, is okay. Linebackers are okay. Really, your secondary over here, though, is where you're going to take the huge hit. Really, no cornerbacks. I mean, you got low 80s guys, Malcolm Butler kind of as well, but still, it could be a lot better. At 29 is the Bengals. Again, you're going to get hit for no quarterback. Joe Mixon's okay. Really kind of hurting at wide receiver, but I've seen worse. You can definitely use John Ross right now. Offensive line is all right. CJ Uzama's not great either. Defense, you do have Takeo Spikes. You got Sam Mills. You got Von Bell, Jesse Bates, some usable pieces in the secondary. This guy put Aeneas Williams there. That's great. Trey Williams is a great budget beast. And you've got Justin Smith. So I would say this one isn't terrible, but you guys got a lot of work to do. Next at 28 28 is going to be the Jets. You guys have Sam Darnold. That's a bit of a plus. You know, the wide receivers, not great, but Rashad Perryman's at least a little bit fast. Offensive line, tight end looks pretty good. Defense, though, you guys have some great pieces here. Jamal Adams, Mo Lewis, Sam Mills, Mario Davis, Steve Atwater. Great part of this top row right here. You guys suck down here, though. Your defensive backs, as far as corners, are pretty bad. I would actually suggest using Leroy Glover on this team, too, just so you have somebody on that defensive line. So, yeah, the Jets, not great right now, but you've got some solid pieces. Next up, the Lions at number 27. You've got Matt Stafford, great throw power, decent wide receivers, not great on the tight end, but offensive line isn't terrible. Defense, though, no safeties. You do have Jamie Collins, Kyle Van Noy, Sam Mills, and Jared Davis. But out here, man, you got Darius Slay, Dre Bly, one of the best corners in the game, Robert Boucher, which is great. You can get edge threat, Leroy Glover. This is a pretty nice team, man. It isn't terrible. I would be able to use this in head-to-head, but again, your quarterback situation hurts you a little bit. Next up is the Bears at number 26. The Bears hugely hurt by Mitch Trubisky being the quarterback. Hopefully, you guys get an upgrade to him soon. But everywhere else, you're looking pretty solid. Offensive line, okay. You got Jimmy Graham out there. You got Cordell Patterson is pretty fast. Allen Robinson's pretty good. Defense is where you guys got a big boost on this. Having Khalil Mack on this team was pretty huge. You have pretty decent safeties. You got Robert Quinn. You've got Amobi Okoye, who's great. And then I really like Kyle Fuller and Aeneas Williams, who's on this particular team. So I'm going to say this guy is number 26. Next is the Packers. Green Bay Packers. I wanted to put him up a little bit higher because I love this combination of Aaron Rodgers and Mark Clayton. Everywhere else is okay, though. I like your tight end quite a bit. I like your receivers. Defense, pretty good, too. Adrian Amos is pretty good for an 83. Your linebackers are really solid. Your safety's really solid. You know, your cornerbacks, if you put them out like this, are pretty good. Your defensive line, though, needs a lot of help. You got a 69 and a 65 still in there, but still not bad. I really like that Aaron Rodgers to Mark Clayton link up right there. The Eagles are going to be next at number 24. Again, Carson Wentz, you guys need to get an upgrade to him soon. They put Ed McCaffrey in here as your wide receiver. You guys probably really do need him. Zach Ertz is pretty solid. You guys probably have the best offensive line in the game right now. This is ridiculous. That's why you're this high, really. Defense, also you have some really good pieces. Troy Vincent, who I think is a cornerback. They put him at safety. You got Takeo Spikes. You got Malcolm Jenkins. You have Fletcher Cox out here, Darius Slay, and Asante Samuel. Some really dominant pieces, but again, you have a lot of holes all over this team. But again, hopefully you guys get some upgrades here soon. Next up, the Panthers. This is team number 23, ranked number 23. I like this team because I really do like Teddy Bridgewater, the quarterback right now. Robbie Anderson, 89 speed with Andre Johnson and DJ Moore. That's kind of a glitch. You also have, if you don't have Barry Sanders, you got Christian McCaffrey, who's really, really good. And then on defense, you've got a couple of nice pieces in here. You really need to fix these linebackers. But I do like the Charles Johnson. I do like Dante Jackson. He's also super fast. So you guys you got a big boost because you have a good quarterback. And you've got some really good speed position guys in here. Dante Jackson and Robbie Anderson really helped, bring this team up the rankings for me at least. Next up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team looks really good in spots, man. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, your wide receivers are crazy. You got Rob Gronkowski in there. Offensive line on the left side looks really good. You have a quarterback in Tom Brady. You got work done if you don't want Barry Sanders. Really nice offense. The defense, though, needs some help. Antoine Winfield is pretty good. You got Shaq Barrett, Sam Mills. Those are fine. Levante David, you could put him maybe at left outside linebacker. You need a safety, though. Cornerbacks, this is where you guys are hurting. Like, really bad on head-to-head. This is not going to get the job done. Only having Aeneas Williams out there, that sucks. Vita Vea is good. Ndamukong Suh is good. But, the offense is a powerhouse. The defense in a lot of trouble. Next up, number 21 is the Raiders. Rich Gannon. You guys got a huge bump because you actually have a nice quarterback. We got Bo Jackson in here too, who's going to be very, very lethal. You got Jason Witten, Darren Waller, who's probably better. A great offensive line. Defense, though, safety, they have Rod Woodson up here at safety. Otherwise, it's going to be Jeff Heath. You do have Khalil Mack, which is a pretty good bump there too, and Richard Seymour. Other than that, though, lots of holes on this team. But still, as far as getting into the 20s and up, man, this is probably, you're getting to the territory where every one of these teams are pretty usable in head-to-head. I'd say actually the Raiders are probably higher than this just because they do have the quarterback running back combo, and they should have a decent user somewhere on this field too. Sam Mills or some good pressure and stuff too. Next up is the Cowboys at number 20. The Cowboys have a great offensive line, probably the best in the game. Blake Jarwin's pretty good too. You have a quarterback in Tony Romo. You got Ezekiel Elliott in there if you don't want Barry. You got Amari. You got Michael Gallup. Really solid offense. Defensively, not terrible too. You got Xavier Woods, Robert Quinn, Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith if you want a user, a really nice user, or even like a CPU coverage guy. You got Byron Jones, the best cornerback in the game, Everson Griffin, DeMarcus Lawrence, Leroy Glover, and Gerald McCoy. So this is a pretty well-rounded team, man. I'd say, especially if you've got that Tony Romo that came with the pre-order. Next up is the Steelers. We've got the Steelers ranked, let's see, where are they here? Number 19. The Steelers have a quarterback. They've got Jerome Bettis and Barry if you want him. You've got decent wide receivers. I would say maybe you should get an upgrade here pretty soon. You've got a great tight end. Defensively, TJ Watt is great. You've got a great user in Devin Bush. Terrell Edmonds, probably one of the best team builders in the game. You got Minka Fitzpatrick. You got a solid offensive or defensive line to it. Hayward, Leroy Glover, and then obviously you got the brand new Rod Woodson in there as well, man. So this is a pretty solid team as we're getting deeper into the 20s. Next, we got the Texans. The Texans got a significant boost because I like their mobile quarterback as well as their super fast Brandon Cooks, DeAndre Hopkins, Andre Johnson. They have some really good offensive power on this team. Defensively, they do have Tyrann Mathieu. They've got Justin Reed, who's pretty good for his overall. You got Ross Blacklock. You've got Amobi Okoye. You got J.J. Watt. You got a pretty decent, what's his name? Garyon Conley. So this is a pretty solid team, and you got some pretty huge pieces on the Texan squad, including a mobile quarterback. So that did bump you guys up quite a bit. Next up, we've got the Colts at number 17. New number 17 in the house. That wasn't on purpose, guys. That's completely random. We got T.Y. We got Michael Pittman, who's really good. Andre Johnson. Great offense, unless, if you don't have Barry Sanders, it gets hurt quite a bit because you don't have a running back. But pretty good offensive line as well. Taking a look at the defense, so you got Bob Sanders, who's one of the biggest playmakers for me on my Chargers team. Darius Leonard, Sam Mills. You got Justin Houston, DeForest Buckner, Neas Williams, Kenny Moore II. So this is pretty good, but you get a huge boost because you actually have a good quarterback in Phillip Rivers. Next up, we got the Washington football team at number 16. Rich Gannon does fit on this squad. Huge boost to this team because of it. You got Keenan McCardell on here, who's awesome. You got Adrian Peterson. You need some help at tight end really, really bad, but you do have Trent Williams on there as well. Defensively, Sam Mills, London Fletcher, who's great, Preston Smith, Kendall Fuller. You got some good pieces on this defensive line too. Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Ryan Kerrigan, Aeneas Williams, Troy Vincent. I would say this is pretty good, man, especially because you have a 90 overall quarterback. Next up is the Falcons, number 15 on this list. We're halfway there, guys. Matt Ryan, you got Warwick Dunn on this list too. Look at this trio, man. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Roddy White, Andre Johnson. Great look. You got a good tight end. You have an okay offensive line. Defensively, you need help at safety. You do have, huge hole at left outside linebacker, but you also got Terkaris McKinley, who I really like, AJ Terrell, Desmond Trufant, and Asante Samuel on this team. So you have some huge pieces for the Falcons too. Next up, the Vikings at number 14. Rich Gannon, also playing for the Vikings. Huge boost for this squad. Justin Jefferson, great. Andre Johnson, great. Adam Thielen, great. You have some depth there. Kyle Rudolph, a little bit too slow, but offensive line is pretty good, especially with that right tackle. You got Hitman Harry in here. Sam Mills. You got Anthony Harris, who's pretty good. Defensive line, though. Daniel Hunter, Michael Pierce, Linval Joseph, Yannick Ngakoue. And then you got a pretty decent, cornerbacks as well. Pretty powerful team, especially given that Rich Gannon does fit on this squad. Next up, we've got the Browns. Cleveland Browns at number 13. Again, great offensive line. One of the better in the game. Austin Hooper. You're hurt a lot by quarterback on this ranking, but still, you have Nick Chubb. You've got Raheem Mostert. You got Odell Beckham, Keenan McCardell. Very solid offense. Defensively, you got a couple of good players in here. Grant Delpit is on fire. You got Demario Davis, Jamie Collins, Sam Mills, Joe Schobert in there too. And then at defensive back, you got Frank Minifield, Denzel Ward, Joe Hayden. So some nice speed with a great pass rusher in Myles Garrett. Next up, the Rams at number 10. We're into the top 10 already? Nah, I think this one's in the wrong place. All right, here we go. We got the Cardinals, actually. The Cardinals looking pretty good right now at number 12. Kyler Murray. Kenyon Drake's going to get an upgrade very soon. Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins, really nice too. Defensively, look at this, man. Adrian Wilson. I think this team got such a huge boost because you've got probably the best user in the game right now in Isaiah Simmons, not to mention Chandler Jones, Adrian Wilson, Budda Baker. This Isaiah Simmons, though, bumped this team up like crazy. Not to mention, even though Kyler Murray's only an 82, he's also a good scrambling quarterback. So a couple huge boosts from just those positions. You also got Tyrann Mathieu in there, Patrick Peterson, Naeus Williams, and Calais Campbell. So you guys got some really solid pieces in here, but really that Isaiah Simmons did bump you up quite a bit. Next up is the Denver Broncos. Broncos got a lot of really good upgrades. Obviously not on the offensive line, but take a look here, man. Drew Lock needs help, but your wide receivers, Ed McCaffrey, Jerry Jeudy, Andre Johnson look great. Even if you don't have Barry Sanders, Melvin Gordon is really good. Free safety and strong safety look great, but Steve Atwater, one of the best in the game right now. Elvis Dumerville, one of the best rushers in the game. Shaq Barrett, great. You still have an 84 guy here at middle linebacker too. And then on your cornerbacks, Dre Bly, the best in the game right now, in my opinion, one of them at least. Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, Jarrell Casey, like absolutely crazy defensive line too. So this Bronco team looks really, really good right now. Let's get back on track here. Now we're to the Rams at number 10, man. The Rams, again, really, really hurt by no quarterback. But these wide receivers are insane, man. You got Brandon Cooks, Dante Hall, Drew Bennett, Cooper Kupp, Andre Johnson, insane. Also at running back, Jerome Bettis, 89 overall, Todd Gurley. Like, this is a really, really solid offense, man. Defensively, you're going to have Dre Bly, who we already know about. You're going to have Eric Weddle. You're going to have Leonard Floyd, who's pretty good. Sam Mills. You're going to have London Fletcher. There's a lot of pieces on this team that kind of fit from other teams, and that's why they're so dominant, especially that you got Aaron Donald in there, too. Next at number 9 is gonna be the Bills. This team actually kind of snuck up on me in this ranking, man. Offensive line, you got a couple of good pieces. You know, tight end, nothing really there. But then you take a look at their wide receivers. They're pretty good. You got Stephon Diggs in there now. Robert Woods is okay. You got Eddie Georgian on this team. Defensively, though, man, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Takeo Spikes, AJ Klein, Sam Mills, London Fletcher, really good top row here. And then you look down here, man, Troy Vincent, Davius White, Stephon Gilmore, Kyle Williams, Mario Addison, lots and lots and lots of firepower in here. I think we could probably say this is probably lower than the Rams now that I'm looking at it. So maybe they just make the top 10 or they're just outside the top 10. But I don't know, man. I really like this defensive back unit. It's pretty wild what you can do with Troy Vincent, Davius White, and Stephon Gilmore. Next up is going to be the Saints at number 8. Now, the Saints have a good quarterback in Drew Brees. Huge bump. If you can get Barry Sanders, great. If not, Alvin Kamara and Ingram are pretty good too. Traquan Smith is fast. Michael Thomas is reliable. You know, Brandon Cooks is insane. Jared Cook is all right. Offensive line looks great. Defensively, Marcus Williams is okay. Malcolm Jenkins is great. Sam Mills, Marlo Davis, like this unit is just fine. Then taking a look at the defensive backs, you hurt a little bit here. Honestly, I would move, who's your team captain on this team right now? I can't quite see it. Whoever your team captain is, I would definitely move them over from Leroy Glover. I would definitely move it from Leroy Glover out to cornerback here. But other than that, man, you know, Marshawn's going to get an upgrade here soon. You got Jordan Cameron. This is a solid unit to start the year. At number 7, the Seattle Seahawks. You guys got a huge bump on this team for having this man on your squad, Russell Wilson. You've also got Tyler Lockett and Jerry Rice, not to mention Max Strong, the best fullback in the game. This is a pretty powerful offense when you really think about it, guys. Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett gonna win games. Russell Wilson and Jerry Rice gonna win games. Offensive line, not too great, but you do have Greg Olsen in there as well. Defensively, you got Jamal Adams, you got Earl Thomas, you know, you got Bruce Irvin, you got Bobby Wagner. Very solid linebackers and safeties. And then cornerbacks, Richard Sherman, Justin Coleman, Shaquille Griffin. You got Leroy Glover in here too. So maybe a little bit of help at pass rush, but really that Russell Wilson bumps this team up for me quite a bit. At number 6 is the San Francisco 49ers, just not making the top 5. What's funny enough is that the 49ers are the best team, you know, overall wise. At 89 overall up here, you guys see on the top left. They're very good as far as how many upgrades they got. Mike McGlinchey, Larry Allen, Trent Williams, great squad. George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the game. You still have Trent Brown here at left tackle if you want to bump him to right guard or something. Very good, or left guard. Offensively on wide receiver, you got Jerry Rice. You know, you could easily move Ed McCaffrey out of here and put Kedrick Bourne in there in the slot and move this guy somewhere else. Probably what I'm going to suggest. You got Raheem Mostert in there, some speed if you don't have Barry Sanders. You guys are hurting, though, at quarterback. That's why you guys didn't make the top 5 for me. On defense, though, even better. They put Rod Woodson at safety. I would put Rod Woodson I guess you could put him at safety as well if you wanted to, just because if you had, let's say, Aeneas Williams in here, you could definitely not eat up that spot. But still, Elvis Dumerville, Takeo Spike, Sam Mills, Ronnie Lott. This is a very nasty defense. Justin Smith, Nick Bosa, DeForest Buckner, Javon Kinlaw, Richard Sherman, Dre Bly. Very, very, very nasty defense. So I would say the Niners, almost like every year, are in the running for the best team in the game. Next up, we got the Patriots. Into the top 5 we go. The Patriots, 88 overall. Great offensive line. You guys got Rob Gronkowski. You guys got Tom Brady or Cam Newton. Take your pick. You can go ahead and go with Eddie George or go with Barry Sanders in this situation. Marquise Lee is great. Andre Johnson's great. Brandon Cooks is glitchy. Looking at this defense, Devin McCourty, Patrick Chung, maybe get somebody for safety, but Adalius Thomas, Sam Mills, Avante Hightower, Junior Seau, Jamie Collins. Great top row up here. What about your secondary? Asante Samuel, Stephon Gilmore, Jason McCourty. You got Richard Seymour in there, Keem Hicks. You got Adam Butler. Very, very well-rounded out squad. So if you want to be a pocket passer or a mobile guy, you have those options and you have a dominant defense. Next up, number 4. This one's going to shock you guys. The Miami Dolphins. How crazy is this, man? The Miami Dolphins have one of the best teams in the game right now. And I think the biggest boost for this team, Dan Marino. He's got crazy good throw power. He has hot route master. He's got, pocket lead elite. He's got Raheem Mostert, Damian Williams, Sanders in here too if you want him. Marcus Clayton, probably one of the best wide receivers in the game. This is a very solid offense if you're a pocket passer this year, man. Then down here on defense, things get even better. Minkah Fitzpatrick, Byron Jones, Junior Seau, Robert Quinn. Crazy good top row right there. And then Troy Vincent, Xavier Howard. You guys need a slot guy, but you still have Emmanuel Ogbah, Leroy Glover, Devin Godchaux, and Ndamukong Suh. So very, very powerful theme team this year for the Dolphins. But if you don't run pocket passers, this could easily go down. Still a very, very nice squad for this time of the year for the Fins. Next up, into the top 3 we go. We've got the Chargers, man. I'm living in a world where the Chargers actually have a top 3 team in Madden. This is absolutely insane. I tried to be as non-biased as possible, man, but let's take a look at this squad. Offensive line, not great. You got Lamp, you got Bulaga, that's pretty much it, and you got a Silver in there. So where are we going to make this up at? Hunter Henry, decent. This wide receivers, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Keenan McCardell, Andre Johnson, very good. Even if you don't have Barry Sanders, Melvin Gordon, pretty solid. Then take a look at this defense. This is why this is the number 3 team in the game, man. The Chargers currently claim the best defense in Madden Ultimate Team, period. You got Eric Weddle, Junior Seau, Sam Mills, and Denzel Perryman, Takeo Spikes, and Bob Sanders, and Derwin James. Ridiculous. But it gets even better down here, man. Chris Harris Jr., Desmond King, Casey Hayward, Joey Bosa, Linval Joseph, Leroy Glover, and Melvin Ingram. I think as far as a complete dominant defense, it doesn't get any better than the Chargers this year. And on top of that, they have a pretty good offense as well. So really in contention for the top 3 teams in the game right now. You could argue this is the number 2 team just because of their defense alone. But honestly, guys, I've had so much fun running with this team. I'm so excited to see them get more upgrades this year. At number 2 is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl winners of last year. They have a couple of really good offensive linemen. They got Travis Kelce. You got Rich Gannon or Patrick Mahomes, depending on your play style. You can throw in there. I would highly suggest getting a Barry Sanders for this team just because your running backs aren't great right now. But the biggest thing that's going to win you games on the Chiefs theme team is Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes to Dante Hall, Patrick Mahomes to Andre Johnson. And you can say the same thing about Rich Gannon. Probably one of the most powerful offenses in the game right now because they have speed and a good quarterback. This team's going to win games on the back of that alone. Defense, nothing to shake a tail at either, though, guys. Tyrann Mathieu, Bobby Bell, Sam Mills, Justin Houston, Kendall Fuller. All really, really good options right there. The defensive backs, Aeneas Williams, Marcus Peters, Travarius Ward, also really good. And they have pretty good defensive rush, too. D Ford, Chris Jones, and Frank Clark. So this is a really well-rounded out team. But the biggest reason why this team is number 2 for me right now is because of this quarterback to wide receiver connection. Now, the last team, the number 1 team in Madden Ultimate Team right now, I'm sure you guys guessed it, it's going to be going to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Ravens have so many good pieces, but you guys know ultimately why they're number one right now. It's because of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is just too good. He's a game winner on his own. He's definitely the best card in the game right now if you know how to use him. On top of that, he's got Darren Waller. He's got a decent offensive line. Ed McCaffrey, I would suggest for this team, but you do still have Marquise Brown and Andre Johnson with Kyle Juszczyk. Solid offense. Defense is super nice as well, man. Eric Weddle, Earl Thomas, Adalius Thomas, Elvis Dumerville, CJ Mosley, Sam Mills, Matthew Judon, Tyrus Browser. You got Patrick Queen in here, a new user. Absolutely filthy defense. And then over here, defensive back, Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, Jimmy Smith, Rod Woodson, who just came out, Calais Campbell, Zadarius Smith, Michael Pierce, Brandon Williams. An absolutely lethal team to run out with right now. So the number one, we're going to congratulate you Ravens fans. You guys have the best theme team in Madden Ultimate Team this year. So a very long video today, guys, but I did want to make sure we did our due diligence. I hope you guys hung in there. What do you guys think of this ranking for the best theme team, Madden Ultimate Team for Madden 21? Honestly, super happy the Chargers made the top 3. It's my list, though, so I can do what I want, but still, that Chargers defense, the best in the game. Where is your guys' team in this rankings? And would you guys change the rankings in any way? This is just kind of me, like, who would I put here? Who would I put there? I think we did a pretty decent job of it, guys. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. One of the longest videos of the year. We'll see you next time, and as always, stay frosty.